Hello and welcome along to Grand Drive. It's the second time we've brought you a live stream from this ground this season. Farnham have won here once against Rains Park Vale, but it's arguably, Harry, an even bigger occasion tonight. Second versus first. All eyes along the Isthmian South Central are going to be on this game.
Yeah, I think all eyes across lots of different leagues are going to be on this game. This is a game of two fantastic sides. Can't take anything away from either side. They've put together a really good season, and we've done incredibly well to avoid each other for so long. Middle of February, and we're playing each other for the first time. We sit on 64 points, them on 58, both going really strong. Both the same games played for the first time in quite a while, and this is going to be quite a spectacle. And the fact it falls on a Wednesday night means that there's probably a few more people able to watch, be it on this live stream or in the ground.
Yeah, and with all due respect to the other teams in and around the top 5 or 6 positions, it does feel like it's been whittled down to these two. It kind of felt like that quite early on in the season, but Farnham have always kind of had the advantage, haven't they? A couple of slip-ups from Kingstonian early on in the season makes this maybe more of a must-win for them than it is for Farnham.
Definitely more of a must-win. Farnham will be looking at this as an opportunity to close the league out. It's still got a decent way to go. 14, 15 games, even after this one. But you go 9 points clear plus goal difference, you start to really see the light at the end of the tunnel, and step 3 starts to beckon. But it can go the other way, and this deficit. The deficit can be cut to 3 points, and that feels a lot more achievable for a good side like Kingstonian, who've got a lot of winners amongst their ranks, who've seen a lot of promotions themselves.
Farnham come into this in excellent away form, 13 wins from 14 road trips this season, quite remarkable. It's made up for maybe disappointing home form by comparison. They'll feel confident tonight, won't they? They can come and get another job done on the road.
Get the boys in blue, and it seems to work a trick. It's been impressive so far, to be honest. But I have to say, stretching back to Jono and Jimmy first taking over here, the away form has been magnificent. There's only been one league loss under Jimmy and Jono, and that's quite some stat when they've been in charge for spanning 3 seasons now across 2 different levels. So yeah, an amazing achievement, and hopefully they can continue it today, because we are the number 1 team away from home in the country.
We can't understate really how the magnitude of this match. I mean, we obviously like to build up games at Farnham, but with all the media we put out and all the live streams, we look back at games like Bridgewater last season, Jersey last season, even Rains Park here this season. We built up a lot, but this probably trumps a lot, really, doesn't it, in terms of magnitude?
Yeah, this is the one. Like I said, you've got 2 brilliant teams here. You've got some of the most talented players at the level playing for both of these teams. Can't be understated how impressive the front 3-4 of Kingstonian is, and likewise the whole starting 11 for Farnham Town is really quite something. And for the first time in a long time, we're full strength, which is fantastic, because we've had a lot of injuries and suspensions, and we're able to field the strongest team we possibly can, and the bench looks ludicrous.
Yeah, and that 11 includes Zaki Waller, who joined this week from Whitehawk. How important an addition is that for the running?
I think it's a really important addition. I think over the course of the last 2 years, we've always tried to look ahead and never try to get stuck in the moment too much. And I think some people might look at it as a bit unfavourable on Hugo Sobte, who, to be honest, had done a good enough job, and probably would have been good enough to see us through to win this league. But we've got to keep an eye on what potentially could happen in a couple of games' time, and that could be step-free football. And Zaki was in goal for Chesham last year and won the Golden Glove and won the league at step 3, and he's played in the Football League, and he's got incredible pedigree, and I'm really excited to watch him tonight. But there's obviously a lot of pressure coming into a game like this one.
And there's been a lot of changes in the Farnham squad, really. If you look back at the team that started that first game of the campaign, lots of ins and outs, but it's all been kept very much under control. Maybe now this feels like it's the squad that can sort of get the job done and get it over the line.
Yeah, I think it is. I think barring some horrific injuries or some bad luck, some suspensions, this will be the squad that does see it through to the end of the season. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm incredibly nervous, and I want to make that very, very clear to the people listening or watching. I'm on tenterhooks here, but I'm going to use Ben's positive energy next to me to try and get me through. But the bench is what's really making me confident. It's a 90-minute match. They've not been in great form, Kingstonian, nor have we, if we're perfectly honest. But this is as strong as we could possibly be, and we can change the game with half an hour to go.
Yeah, this is, of course, Farnham Town's YouTube channel, so, of course, anyone tuning in probably expects some pro-Farnham sentiment, but we will try to not alienate those watching of a Kingstonian persuasion or of a neutral persuasion, as we await the arrival of the two teams just a few minutes later than anticipated.
Yeah, make them wait. Build the anticipation. There's a huge amount of people. It won't feel very busy to you guys yet, because most of the people are being hoarded into that far corner which the camera is currently pointed at, and it won't give a huge perspective of depth. But I think once the gates get open as the players come out, there's going to be a lot of people around this ground, and hopefully a lot of people watching online as well, be it on Twitter or on YouTube.
And we will draw comparisons as well to last time Farnham came here against Rains Park Vale. It was a real in-your-face first half, wasn't it, in particular from Rains Park Vale, and Farnham have got to deal with that and manage the occasion as much as anything else. Yeah,
they do. And they've got a lot of experienced players. I think both teams have got experienced players. I don't think the occasion is going to get to the teams. We might be wrong, but if you're really looking at it on paper, there's a huge amount of experience here, and I expect that to tell.
Ryan Kinane leads out his troops as Farnham prepare for their toughest away trip of the season up to press. It's Kingstonian versus Farnham Town, second versus first. 6 points separates the sides. Can Farnham stretch that lead over their nearest challengers this evening? In goal for them, it's a debutant, Zaki Waller, who arrived from Whitehawk earlier this week. The defence is Joe Jackson, Ryan Kinane, Jordan Stepney, who plied his trade here for a few years with Rains Park Vale, and Gio Palmer. Harry Cooksley is still missing, so Mark Waters and Ben Purcell play in midfield. Sanderson, Croy and Daryl Sanders line up in behind Owen Dean, who's back in after sitting out at the weekend, and Adam Liddell maintains his spot in the 11. Dean, of course, did come off the bench and score the fifth at Southall. Jordan Gallagher opened the scoring that afternoon. He's on the bench, as is Great Evans, who got a goal and assist that day. Cooksley is fit enough for a place among the substitutes, and Jack Dean returns from suspension, with Kai Tanner making up the bench. For Kingstonian, it's Liam Allen in goal. It's Arsene Ukai, Joe Pratley-Jones, Mitchell Goff, Ruben Duncan. James McShane makes his second start for the club after arriving from Dorking on loan. He's alongside Harry Mills. And then it's an attacking quartet of Stanley Flaherty, who wears the captain's armband tonight, Palace Francis, the league's top goal scorer Eddie Simon, and Bradley Wilson. The bench is Joe Bell, Dan Rowe, Alexander Dubov, Ben Parkinson and Jonathan Sanchez. It's a star-studded affair, isn't it, Harry? Both teams, plenty of firepower. Could be goals galore.
Could be a ball fest, where both cancel each other out. But I'm expecting goals, I'm expecting chances, I'm expecting the keepers to have a big say in this game. And you know, we know what Kingstonian are going to do. You know, they're going to play incredibly wide. Flaherty's going to be out on that right-hand side. Wilson's going to be out on the left-hand side, and they're going to try and stretch Farnham and look on the counter-attack. Farnham, we know exactly what they're going to do. They're going to try and keep the ball, move it through the system into the 10s, get Daryl Sanders on the ball, and find Owen Dean up front. Like that, it's very, very clear. I don't think either manager's going to try and change anything. I think we're going to stick to their guns. You've got two incredible sides with lots and lots of talent on the pitch, and hopefully what we're about to watch is going to do it justice.
Yeah, and the nearest player to us there, Bradley Wilson, he'll be fired up for this one. He's not one to be shy of voicing his opinions on Twitter. He'll be right up for this, won't he?
Yeah, he's had a few text messages into my inbox this morning, that's for sure. But yeah, look, I wish him the best of luck, and I just hope he doesn't do it on the big stage today. But a player that's very, very capable.
Yeah, we'll keep referencing that Rains Park Vale game, but just getting flashbacks to that night. It was Jordan Gallagher who strutted over to us in opposition colours on that occasion. Tonight he sits on the Farnham bench, and also that night Connor Clark was in goal for Farnham. That's scrambling around for an emergency loan, but they got a very senior shot stopper between the six tonight as Kingstonian get us underway in those signature red and white hoops. And you see straight away Farnham with that press, Adam Liddell leading it.
Yeah, we'll see a lot of that tonight. We really will. Good from Liddell.
Getting that battle underway already as Jackson looks to close Wilson down. He's got Flaherty who's come over to this left flank.
That's going to be it every single time. And Kinane's done really well.
No nonsense from Kinane. he'll know what's required of himself this evening. Always professional.
Bit of a different formation to what I expected from Kingstonian, with Harry Mills and Ruben Duncan sitting in the middle of midfield. McShane kind of in that 10 role. Flatty kind of given a huge amount of freedom. It almost looks like a back three of Goff, Pratley, Jones and Ukaj, I think, on the far side of Arson, former Farnham player.
And they got 5 players in very advanced positions, in possession at least, Kingstonian. Yeah. Looking to get bodies in and around those Farnham defenders. Fast start important for them.
Yeah, they've almost got 5 up front. McShane, Simon, Flaherty, Wilson, Francis.
Had to play it through the middle. Another loose pass though.
That's where Farnham need to be stronger when they win the ball back. And they need to be disciplined as well.
Here's Goff. Just feeling each other out here. Another pass that didn't quite meet its target, and a late challenge goes in from Owen Dean. Those Farnham players just pointing each other around, trying to work out this Kingstonian system and adjust if necessary.
Yeah, lots of forward players. We did expect that. Probably didn't expect 5, but I expected 4. And then they're kind of giving a two-man midfield protection in front of a back 3.
Yeah, we wondered how advanced McShane would play as he steps up his rehabilitation. Early signs are very advanced. Little again chasing it down. Disson Croy. Likewise, here's Flaherty. And now Wilson cuts inside, leaves Jackson for dead. And that was McShane's loose touch. And Farnham can get it away. And Dean helps it on. Little look to get the flick. Goff got a meaningful contact on it.
Unnecessary.
Sanders for Liddell. Kingstonian have had their spell of possession in the early going. Farnham would like to follow suit.
Yeah, I think Farnham will want to get the foot on the ball just to get used to the pitch. That's nice from Sanders. Nice from Purcell as well.
Yeah, fair to say Farnham have been at their best on artificial surfaces this season, unsurprisingly, given their footballing ability.
Kingstonian exactly the same, though. They're so spread out, Kingstonian players.
Trying his luck over the top, and that's the first touch in a Farnham jersey for Zaki Waller.
Yeah, he'll be pleased as well to touch it.
Not a bad kick as well.
I mean, that's one thing you'll really realise. You know, we watched him play against us for Chesham.
Here's Sanders. Delivers it early. Wasn't a bad one.
Wasn't.
Disson Croy the only one arriving. Liddell was at the near post. It is a more defensive-minded double pivot in midfield for Farnham, enforced with Cooksley's illness over the last week. But perhaps not the worst thing for this sort of match.
No, when I saw him, when he arrived, I said, this is a Mark Waters pitch. It's an Owen Dean pitch. It's a Great Evans pitch. It's an Adam Liddell pitch. You know, it might be difficult to see from this angle, but it's not very nice out there. It's very sandy. It's very bobbly, and both of these teams will want to play football, and it won't be super easy to do that.
Kingstonian really looking to box Farnham in. Dean's flick. And here is Dean. And Farnham could have numbers here. Croy looks at his options in the middle, and
it's a great ball.
What a delivery that is. Oh. And that's the first chance of the game, and it was a really good one from a superb cross.
Phenomenal cross. Daryl Sanders not the man I was expecting to get on the end of it, and he actually got a really good connection on it, and probably should have done a bit better. But if it was on target, it was in. Keeper was beaten.
That's a warning sign for Kingstonians. Croy allowed time and space. What a delivery it was.
I'm happy to let them have it there. And this is where they will trigger the press. And again, Farnham win the ball back.
Palmer. It's dropped kindly for Liddell, who turns. His time to cross, and Dean and Croy.
Done well, the goalkeeper. But 2 warning signs in quick succession for Kingstonian.
Yeah, both coming from wide areas. It's the beauty of the box formation. They can be lethal centrally and out wide as Kingstonian make progress now. Here's Wilson. Jackson looking to get back. Waters is covering for him, and Canane touches it out for a corner.
They come forward at pace, Kingstonian. Farnham will know that. That was nice trickery in front of us from Bradley Wilson. And Stan Flaherty as well. And forward come the cavalry from the back.
Plenty forward. It's floated in, and it's not the best delivery. And he holds his hand up to apologise for a bit of a waste.
Yeah, he does such a good job on the attacking action that kind of wasted all his energy for the corner.
But Jackson was just caught upfield a little bit there, and that's the danger. Wilson in behind.
It's just so difficult to turn on this pitch. You're going to get stuck. You already see it starting to break up. It's a great kick from Zaki.
Yeah, plenty of distance. Got runners again, and Sanders has found himself in a nice pocket. Here's Croy. Jackson's on the move again.
It's where Farnham can't lose the ball, though. They have to make that pass count. Because this is where Kingstonian are dangerous.
There's Goff. All the Kingstonian players are actually in their own half now. Flaherty looking to collect.
If he can keep it in, Joe Jackson's got time. He's kept it in, and now he hasn't.
They want the yellow card for Jackson kicking the ball away. Really passionate appeals there from Pratley Jones. Here he is again, Pratley Jones.
Yep, I mean, Kingstonian will be just as happy to have the ball as Farnham will. Both sides are very possession-based. But it's Liam Allen who's been the busier of the 2 goalkeepers so far.
Another foul. Over on that far side. Almost chess-like opening. Daryl Sanders might have had other ideas. His effort, the closest either team have come.
Almost gone to a back 4 now, Kingstonian.
That's a nice touch there from McShane. And Palmer stuck to his task.
Yeah, almost a back 4 now for Kingstonian.
Yeah, Ruben Duncan really sitting in.
You can hear Walla communicating with his defence.
Shane dispossessed that time. Here's Sanders.
Nice touch.
Just looking to feed that through to Liddell.
Brad Wilson seems to be the danger man on this near side so far in this game for Kingstonian. Farnham have found a few different attacking options going forward. And it's actually this part of the pitch that's one of the worst that Jackson is plying his trade. That's a lovely pass though.
Took a nick, still made its way through to Liddell, who unfairly steals it from Reuben Duncan. It's Goff. This is his options. Nothing on for him. Flaherty comes back to take it. Looking to build from the back. You often see Flaherty in this position.
He's kind of allowed to do what he wants, Flaherty. And he's done it well so far, but that was a wasted possession opportunity.
Purcell. Stepney. Sanders calling for it, ignored by Waters. It's patient from Farnham. And it's created a very nice opening for Dean.
It's good
And
from
now
Farnham.
Jackson. Dean again. Leaves the ball behind him. Sanders onto it. Another nearly moment for the visitors. Croy, good touch. And
that's good.
Purcell.
Sensible from Purcell as well. Farnham can rebuild something here.
Sanders. Quick passing.
Farnham definitely moving forward with attacking intent. Moving the ball with a bit of purpose.
Have been forced backwards. Not seen so much of the trademark Stepney diagonal so far.
That's
Kinane,
a good
that
ball,
is a
though.
trademark Kinane ball into Owen Dean. Has to slide to keep it alive. Still got it, Dean. To cut it back towards Croy, who's making a nuisance of himself in attacking areas.
That's where they're dangerous again. Kingstonian on the break.
Yeah, Wilson screaming for it. Said it's Flaherty. Now Wilson.
That's
nicely
nice.
worked. Simon looking to feed it through, and Flaherty was going the other way. And it bobbled just as Kinane was looking to hack that clear.
It is soft in that area, I will say that. It is soft. But yet they attack with purpose down this left-hand side, that's for sure. We've had a front row seat of Kingstonian's attacks.
They've soaked up the Farnham pressure. They've earned the corner. Wilson will hope for a more successful delivery. And it is.
Good header.
Back in it comes, and Wilson's the target. Jackson underneath it. Bradley Jones demanding more movement. Gets it from Flaherty, who just moved into a nice space. Kai. There's a bit too much weight on that. Palmer looking to see it out and does so.
Yep, sensible from Palmer.
He's not really been able to bomb down that left-hand side with the attacking prowess he often likes to.
Yeah, I think he was picked tonight over Jack Dean purely because of his recovery speed. You know, we know that they're going to keep it on the counter-attack, and that's what they've done so far, and Gio's recovery speed is second to none. That's good from Waters.
Owen Dean won't give up on that one. And they'll chase that down, try and make life awkward for Allen.
That's really nice.
Farnham are swarming around Kingstonian. Don't get the throw though.
It's been a tetchy start, but both teams have had chances to get forward. Farnham with the best chance of the game so far.
Goff. Now Flaherty, who's really growing into this. Wilson. Inside he comes again, Wilson. Looking to fire one into that near post.
Good chance. It's vintage Brad Wilson.
Yeah, knowing what he's going to do is one thing, stopping him's a completely different thing altogether.
Yeah, he's quick, change of pace, strikes it well, proven goal scorer at multiple levels. And that is the best chance they've forged, and it wasn't a clear-cut one by any stretch of the imagination.
Got a rowdy set of Kingstonian fans behind that goal.
That's what you want on occasions like this.
Yep, stuck with their team through tough times. Certainly had plenty to cheer about on the pitch this season. Some dazzling performances.
That's a great header. Liddell will chase that down.
They'll continue to chase Liddell. And that was very awkward. Well,
that's very good. Very good.
Very calmly done, just when it looked like they'd bitten off more than they could chew. And Simon left it. Been quiet, Eddie Simon, so far.
Yeah, but his value is in the 18-yard box, as everyone in this league knows. That was a horrible bobble.
Just as Stepney was looking to control it.
That's a great kick.
And you do hope that
Very
the fate
good
of this match isn't decided by a bubble like that as Liddell chases down.
Just over hit.
Oh, bit of pinball there. Stepney not taking any chances. And Liddell just uses his body cleverly there, and he commits the silly foul.
Nothing wrong with that. There was a foul, but no more. Trying to win the ball there. Liddell clearly unpopular here. Spent pre-season at Kingstonian. Left on the eve of the season for Farnham Town, who was obviously with last season.
Yeah, and he's never looked back. He's kept his place in the team throughout the campaign. Chipped in with 11 goals. Only Owen Dean scored more in Farnham colours.
No clear-cut chance yet for either side. Sanders with the best one for Farnham, a header. Just wide, and Brad Wilson arguably for Kingstonian.
Dean almost got there. Seems as though Kingstonian have learnt their lesson from that Sanders chance. They've not really allowed any space in behind on either side, have they, since Dissencourt got in on this near side. Canane does have fantastic ability with those balls around the corner. Saw Erin Dean almost get in with one a few moments ago. And you wonder, when will Kingstonian flick the switch?
That's a nice pass. That was a poor pass.
That's capitalised on.
That's a great tackle
by Prattley Jones.
Farnham to get back here.
Wilson looking to create some space for a shot. McShane likewise. In comes the delivery, and it's onto the roof of the net from Palace Francis.
Farnham can't afford to lose the ball in those sort of areas. Joe Jackson knows it. Been good so far.
Yeah, they read the scouting report there, Farnham, not allowing Wilson to unleash on with his right foot. Crowded him out in the middle.
Nice and busy, yeah. Good to see. It's not Farnham Town attendance, don't get me wrong, but, you know, it's nice to see it busy.
It's nice to see a game on here. Both these teams have suffered from postponements over the last 6 weeks or so. Lots of catching up to do. Not even 2/3 of the way through the season, these two teams. Got as many as 4 games in hand on some of the clubs around them. But still 1 and 2 in the table. Direct from Goff, Flaherty.
That's a poor clearance.
And he's fed it through beautifully. And of all the people to completely miscue, Eddie Simon couldn't have asked for a better player for that opportunity to fall to, as Francis looks to keep hold of the ball.
Yeah, done well.
And looking to use Goff's passing ability, getting it into these central attacking areas. And Flaherty's touch was outstanding to tee up that opportunity, and they're onside here with Francis, and again...
Great tackle. Great tackle from Palmer.
Just took too long to get that out of his feet, Palace Francis. You're starting to hear those Kingstonian fans find their voice.
Yeah, they'll be happy with what they've seen so far, Kingstonian fans. I think both teams will be relatively happy with how the game is going so far.
Shows the maturity of both teams, doesn't it? But it's not hammer and tongue. It's a great tackle. Slow that time.
Great tackle.
And here they go again with Flaherty. As the crowd roars him forward, and he keeps going here, Flaherty.
That's a great pass.
And it's another shooting opportunity in the box. Couple moments there in the space of a minute, and this time it's James McShane, who you'd have expected to have more quality than that.
Flaherty's causing problems in this left channel, that's for sure. Picking up the ball in space about the halfway line and driving forward.
Well, that's a bullet dodged, with that chance dropping to James McShane. Man whose true level is higher than this, in all honesty. This time Farnham win it. Can't make the most of it.
Kingstonian on top here this period.
Oh, and that was a crucial touch by Jackson. Just seems as though the quality from Kingstonian is superior at the moment with those passes.
Yeah, passes through the different lines have definitely been better for K so far. Farnham allowing them to find those pockets.
The longer the game goes on like this, you do start to think about the benches of both teams.
That's nice from McShane.
And after spending most of the first 15 or 20 minutes on this near side, Kingstonian is trying their luck on that right flank.
Yeah, Farnham need to get back hold of the ball.
Bradley Jones. Flaherty again is the man that finds some space, wins the throw. Duncan. Flaherty. And he's brought down. A cheap free kick to give away there by Jackson.
Very cheap. Jackson's not had a great start, but it's been tough. Flaherty and Wilson almost double teaming him down here on this near side.
Everybody back for Farnham. As Sanders just struts out of the penalty area.
No one is McShane on the edge of the box. No one at all.
In by Wilson.
Great header.
And it's half cleared. Flaherty shot. It took a couple of deflections.
Tell you what, it's a good save.
Yeah, he would have been unsighted there as well, Waller. And that buys Farnham some time.
Yeah, it is a good save because he saw nothing of it. It was a great, clean strike.
Yeah, I think I saw 2 deflections on that, both very slight.
Has he just been booked? He has.
Yeah, yellow card shown to Pratley Jones. Has been very vocal and he's still protesting. Some displeasure on that Kingstonian bench, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, I can understand why. It didn't need to be a yellow card, that one. It's one of those where when they're clearing the ball, you just get caught. Both trying to win it.
Yeah, the officials haven't had too much to do.
No.
And neither of the goalkeepers until that save there from Waller, who launches that forward.
That's a nice
on
header.
by Dean. And Pratley Jones, having just been booked, had to get that right.
Well, I'm not first to it again, and there's another chance for Kingstonian to get forward on this near side.
Jackson trying to stay tight to Wilson. It's almost a man-marking job. I just love to nip this Flaherty influence in the bud. Farnham, he's really pulling the strings.
He is, doing really well. Looks like Farnham might have switched formations in the...
Dean for Liddell. His touch was good. 2 in the box. And that's a Farnham throw.
Yeah, I just wonder if they've changed formation. Farnham slightly brought Owen Dean out to the right-hand side, put Darryl, Sanders and Liddell in the middle, and maybe Sanders and Croy out on the left-hand side.
Dean's left-footed cross. Nobody arriving at the back post. It's not properly cleared, though. Liddell looks to capitalise, and Sanders was close to it. Pratley Jones took it down very calmly.
It's a great tackle. It's a great tackle.
Jackson. Liddell. Dean keeps his footing. Here's Purcell. Good spell this. Dean again. And he throws it through for Liddell.
Oh, good save. Just scuffed it, Liddell.
Kinane. Unfamiliar territory, but a good delivery.
Ooh. And again, now the other end, lumping it forward to nobody. And this ball is going to stay in.
So just a momentum switch. As Liddell goes closest, forces a save out of Allen.
That's
and
good.
Now Sanders hasn't seen as much of it as he would have liked in this sort of area. For Dean. Sanders.
Shoot.
He does shoot. Enough bodies in the way. Jackson.
Someone's got to get in the box.
It's a deep one. And
silly.
Croy not cute enough there with that nudge.
Bit of a momentum shift. A few balls in the box for Farnham after a bit of pressure themselves.
Really good contest, which is past the half-hour mark now.
It's been a chess match, really, isn't it?
Just signs it is starting to open up.
That's good.
Dean went for the flick through to Jackson. It was cut out.
That's going to hold up as well.
While a short for Ben Purcell, who's having to work very hard out there this evening.
Yeah, again, this is where the bench could come into real handy for Farnham. A lot of quality there. That's poor, though, from Jordan Stepney.
That won't be kept in. Palmer. That was
Got away with it, didn't he?
collected by Waters, and it's given away, though.
That's a nice
That's
ball.
going to test Stepney, going the other way, and he
Brilliant
passes
touch.
that test with flying colours. And this could be interesting for Farnham. Little's chasing it down, just too much weight on the pass. Sanders. Joe Jackson. Another deep one. And it's a goal kick.
Farnham getting most of their joy down this right flank, getting balls into the box. That's where they created their best chance.
Just hearing the radio commentary there.
Yeah.
There's live radio commentary on football web pages tonight.
Impressed with it? What you overheard?
I can't really make out what he's saying, but seems to be into it.
Yeah?
And he's got a light on his clipboard, which I'm jealous of.
Yeah, you can always purchase one of those on Amazon, I'm sure. We haven't got anywhere to put our clipboards.
No.
We're resting up against the barrier, in amongst the fans.
Probably disturbing everyone around us.
Yeah, and we were exactly how we were doing it in exactly the same place against Rains Park only a few months ago.
Haven't had too much abuse just yet, though. That's Kinane.
That's a poor.
Drops down to make a diving header. And Jackson has to cut that out from Flaherty, who's looking for Wilson. Here's Dean. They look to move it on quickly here. It's Liddle. Sanders running through the middle. Palmer's the option to the left. Liddle keeps going. He might
needs to
shoot
shoot.
Liddle. He does. And it's
Bobbles.
another shot on target from Farnham's number 29.
Brilliant from Mark Waters.
Not troubling Liam Allen there, Liddle, but I know you like to see players shooting.
Yeah, no problem with that. You know, maybe the best pass is to play it out wide, but Farnham sometimes overplay it and don't get enough shots off. So to see the goalkeeper having to make a couple of saves is no bad thing. Both keepers have been called upon. Nothing too worrisome. Most of them have been straight at them.
Even those balls into the box have been quite easy for the goalkeepers. It's been the defenders that have dealt with those mostly, as Pratley-Jones needs a couple of touches to keep that in. Looks down at the pitch in disgust. Goff forward. Wilson was going the opposite direction.
Stepney.
He's looking for a straight ball forward. Here's Dean.
Oof, couldn't quite get his first touch right. If he did, there was an opportunity.
Kingstonian playing their way out really well up until a point. And that was one.
That's a
by
good
Mark
tackle.
Waters and then Purcell, and here's Daryl Sanders. Owen Dean off balance there.
Great touch. Off the post.
And it's off the frame of the goal. Farnham getting closer.
Lovely touch from Sanders to buy himself some space. Guided it towards the bottom corner. Thought it was in, if I'm honest. Goalkeeper had no idea where the goal was.
And he's starting to purr, isn't he, Daryl Sanders?
That's a poor touch from St Croix.
It's taken him a little while to really get into this game, but he's starting to find
It was a good
gaps
chance
in that Kingstonian defence, and he had time there for a shot. Liddell goes in.
Now there's a chance for Kingstonian with a bit of space in front of them. Farnham men committed.
Flaherty looks into the channel, and Jackson does enough.
Wow. We wouldn't have wanted that one, Zaki Wooler.
No. McShane. Bradley Jones. Well worked, Flaherty. Forced backwards by Kinane, who's dragged out of centre-back momentarily. One by Mills.
Both teams starting to look more and more dangerous as they go forward.
And one back by Farnham, who work it into Kingstonian territory, and the throw-in's not allowed to be taken quickly because of the position of it.
Do stick with us at half-time. We will be bringing you a 15-minute sort of chat through the season so far and the game, obviously.
If I manage to climb over the fence.
If you manage to do that. If not, it'll be a solo monologue for 15 minutes of me just stood there.
And it remains to be seen if we'll have a goal to discuss. Doesn't look that way. Still a few minutes to go as Kingstonian fans call for a yellow card on Daryl Sanders.
Well, he's the man who's had the two chances for Farnham. He's one of the men you'd have wanted it to fall to, and that second one was much better than the first one.
Palmer had plenty of space in front of Liddell. He could have played that into. He tried to play it to his feet.
That's a nice touch, and that's a fantastic. That's a great header as well.
Here's Liddell.
It's end to end. It's basketball. Liddell.
He's got support, Liddell. Sanders and Owen Dean. There's the opener. First blood to the leaders. And it's their top scorer, Owen Dean, who slides in front of the travelling fans.
It was a brilliantly worked goal on the counter-attack. We've talked about Kingstonian's threat on that very same thing, but it was Farnham this time. Daryl Sanders picked his pass. Dean, side foot, post. This time, in. Fantastic finish. And that's why he's managed to get so many goals this season, Owen Dean. Fantastic goal, and Farnham scored just before half-time.
It was his first opportunity of the night. He wasn't going to miss. And there were just signs, weren't there? The game was starting to open up. And that intensity from Farnham to win the ball back. And then that trio, Liddell, Sanders and Dean, all of whom have played well in this first half.
They have. The front four have been good. They've had few and far between chances, but they have been good when they have gone forward. And that is a massive, massive goal, not just in the context of this game, but in the context of the league. First blood Farnham.
How often is it Owen Dean?
Well, it's been often this season, that's for sure. But this game is by far and away finished.
Yeah, well, Farnham couldn't even hold on to their advantage when they scored just before half-time here against Rains Park Vale. Jordan Stepney's own goal that night got his former club back into it.
Very similar timing goal, wasn't it? It's about 41st, 42nd minute. Owen Dean's penalty that night.
Purcell going in. Here's Bradley Jones and Flaherty.
That's a nice pass.
Move through for Wilson. Kinane trying to stay with him, and
that's fantastic.
That's how you dispossess one of the best attackers in the league.
And that's a great knock as well. Looks like handball from McShane. But Liddell's going to chase that down.
Farnham looking to settle down.
We were right behind the goal. If I'm honest, I thought it was going to hit the post and come out.
But we had a much better view of it than we did the Sanders shot.
We did.
Goff looking long.
It's been industrious from the midfield, Farnham. Purcell, Waters, Croy's had to drop in there. Very much a front three now. You kind of see Owen Dean on this right-hand side having to drop in and support against Flaherty and Wilson. And it's almost like Daryl Sanders has been given the keys to Grand Drive in the middle of the park, and Little's just doing the running for him. Another chance for Farnham to come forward.
Sanders
dancing around them.
Goff and onto Purcell. Ben Purcell! What a goal by Ben Purcell! And it's 2-0!
That is quite some goal. I asked the players to shoot, and that's why. And that's a bolt from the blue from Purcell. And again, the camera angle was absolutely perfect for it. Sanders danced past 2 or 3, laid it off. Purcell, was he going to look for Owen Dean? He looked up, and then it's another post and in. Farnham 2, Kingstonian 0.
Spectacular. From an unlikely source. But what a moment.
What a way to get your first Farnham goal. What a way to get your first Farnham goal.
Well, I was worried.
I couldn't contain my excitement. I jumped around all over the place over here.
I was worried what we were going to talk about at half-time, but I think we might do 15 minutes on that. Goodness.
Oh, dear me. I'm speechless. What a strike. Farnham need to hold firm now. They need to hold firm. Minutes to go before half-time. That's a nice ball.
Kane will see it through, and Waller comes to gather and take his time, as he knows full well that Farnham just need to see this out to half-time. But I said that at 1-0, and Purcell had other ideas.
Well, it's been a case of Farnham winning the ball high up, getting it to the feet of Daryl Sanders and just allowing him to pick the pass.
It's worked to perfection. Kingstonian were edging the first half an hour or so, as Flaherty, who was very much at the heart of that.
That's very good. That's better. Farnham just slow it down.
And this will be sending signals to everybody else in the league. This is a real statement spell, at least.
Here comes Farnham again.
Even better. Adam Liddell. Still Liddell. He's still there. And he digs one out. And it's off the post. Just the outside of it. It was never going in from this end, Croy.
Liddell did really well. I mean, almost from time-wasting point of view, he did a very good job. Can't be long left in this half. Don't know when it kicks off.
Kingstonian have a man down in the box.
Yeah, do stay with us for half-time. Like Ben said, I wasn't 100% certain what we were going to talk about. We're going to sort of mill around the fact that we've had a good season, I imagine, but off the back of those 2 goals, we've got plenty to discuss. Yeah, it's not hit 45 yet. So, still work to do for Farnham. Need to see this half out. I was here last night watching Rains Park Vale against Southall. Jono and I came to scout out the pitch. First time we've ever done that before. We wanted to come and have a watch, see how it dug up, see how it looked, see how it played. We had a quick walk on it before the game, and yeah, it was. It stood us in quite a good set actually to actually understand where the good parts of the pitch were to play in, and you won't be surprised to hear the part just in front of us is not the good part.
Well, the part where Ben Purcell struck that effort from was more than adequate.
Yeah, I mean, I can quite happily say it's going to go into the contender for goal of the season.
Certainly.
Not just for the quality, but also the context.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we can talk about that at half-time.
Embarrassment of riches to talk about now. Who is it down?
It's
Harry Mills? 14? He's been out for a long time, Harry Mills, if it is. I think it is.
Yep.
Yeah, he's just come back from a long injury, Harry Mills. Went on loan to Tooting for some minutes. This is his first proper start for Kays. This is a big occasion. He's a man for the big occasion, but he is going to get subbed.
And an enforced change. Zaki Wallet, very vocal. Straight into this side, isn't he?
2 minutes of added time, signalled on the far side when this sub comes on. I'm not sure who is coming on. From what I know about their team, it would be Ben Parkinson, but could be anyone, if I'm honest.
Yeah, visibility not its finest at the moment. Given our
Parkinson was their first sub on Saturday, which is why I've guessed him, but I am going off nothing other than that. Will that disrupt their shape? He's gone to right back, whoever it is, and they've definitely changed shape here. Kingstonian.
Flaherty was beaten to that by Owen Dean.
Sensible from Purcell, and very sensible from Stepney.
Oh, and they all hesitated, and in the end it's Jackson that picks it up. Dinked through for Owen Dean. Purcell, the man of the moment.
Horrible pass. Horrible pass.
And not a clever tackle from Waters, and that will see the first yellow card for a Farnham player this evening.
Yeah, it was a horrible pass. Yeah, and Zaki Waller is exactly right. He's talking to his new teammates as if he's been here for years, but don't fuck about there is exactly the right message.
Yeah, barking orders out, as if he owns the team.
Yeah, I can almost not hear Ryan. Farnham need to keep it together for the next 90 seconds. And they'll get a big old cheer as they walk into the dressing room from the Farnham faithful. But that is what they need to do. They need to keep it tight.
Goff. Okay. The passing's just not quite as crisp as it was earlier
again,
on.
Farnham.
Sanders does get there first, but the touch is heavy.
He had to make that touch, didn't he, just to get around the first player. Nice pass again from Goff. He's been instrumental to every forward attack.
And that is half-time. Well, what a flurry at the end of that period for Farnham Town. Owen Dean giving them the lead, and then Ben Purcell adding to it with a spectacular strike, and he's received some congratulations off the back of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's soft out here, that's for sure. As Ben, I mean, you can't watch it. I'm disappointed you can't watch it, because it's one of the least graceful things I've ever seen.
I'm quite pleased with that. I'm quite pleased with that.
Well, what a half of football.
What a half. We talked how it was basically a chess match to start with, but it just started to turn, didn't it, before Owen Dean scored. There was a couple of moments, Daryl Sanders going close.
Farnham started to win the ball in the middle when Kingstonian, I mean, look, we've seen they're playing 5 forwards, right? So when they do lose the ball high in these sort of areas, there's an onrushing of Farnham players, and when you give Daryl Sanders 10, 20 yards of space to pick his pass, he's going to pick it and carved open that chance, and Owen Dean sorted it away. But yeah, you're right, there was a few chances before that, and it fell to Sanders the first time of asking, he hit the post.
And they just upped the intensity, Farnham, with the press as well. Liddell winning it, or it found its way through to Liddell, and then he just helped onto Sanders, and Sanders was always going to pick out the right pass, wasn't it, to Owen
absolutely.
Dean?
Look, it's a very, very good first half display from Farnham, soaked up the pressure, and let's not beat around the bush. Kingstonian were looking really good for the first sort of 25, 30 minutes. Brad Wilson and Stan Flaherty were absolutely instrumental to everything that they were doing. I thought Mitchell Goff has had a really, really good half, going forward. And to be honest, I can't really say too much bad about the Kingstonian defence. They've been 2 brilliantly worked goals. The first goal was a passing move, and the second goal, I mean, what are you going to do about that?
Kingstonian did start well, but what you would say is they didn't really have any clear-cut chances. Wilson cutting inside and shooting wide, and that deflected effort from Flaherty. But Farnham will be
McShane's chance was a decent chance. Yeah, the Wilson one's probably the one you remember the most, but the McShane chance in the middle of the box, about the penalty area, probably points to a McShane who hasn't played a lot of football. He's been out for a while with an ACL. He's been sent down here by Mark White. Mark texts me apologising, saying that if he derails our season, he's sorry. And it felt like there was going to be a moment there where he was going to derail our season. Luckily, Mark put 50 quid in his back pocket and said, "You're not going to score tonight, James." And he sailed it about 20 yards over. Look, Farnham defended really well. I think Ryan has been, is immaculate self. I think Joe Jackson got caught a few times. I think it's when you play against a player, well, 2 players really, of Flaherty and Wilson's quality and pace. You have to get used to it after 5 to 10 minutes, and I think Jackson actually, stepped onto the ball and became really aggressive with how he was winning the ball a bit higher up, and started to sort of find them out a bit in the back half of that, and that's what allowed us again to win the ball high up and get the ball quickly into Owen Dean and Daryl Sanders.
Got to talk about Ben Purcell for a bit longer. I mean, it opened up for him perfectly, but he's not known, at least to Farnham fans, for his goal scoring and shooting ability. But why doesn't he do it more often?
I'm trying to think of a better goal this season. Obviously context helps. This is the biggest game of the season, and it's away. It's under the lights. Always has a feel to it. There's plenty of people here as well, and there's lots of people watching on live stream. So that's the context. But let's be honest, it's goal of the season in its own right, quality-wise. I mean, it's an unbelievable strike, and it felt like as soon as he hit it, it was going to go into the top corner. And the goalkeeper was rooted to the spot, didn't dive, because he hit it so clean, and probably was set because he was expecting him to roll it out to Owen Dean on his right-hand side, who just scored minutes before. But what a player Ben Purcell, what a signing he's been. And like you said, we've been used to him in the middle, knocking it about, simple passes, keeping it ticking over. I think he's drawn a lot of praise from his sort of willingness to get stuck in as well. He puts in a tackle. But yeah, add that to his locker and you've got some player.
Obviously, only halfway there, 45 minutes to go, a big 45 minutes. But up to now, you have to say Paul Johnson's team selection very much vindicated, because fans might have looked at that 11 and that bench and thought Jordan Gallagher, Gray Evans, both,
Jack Dean.
Yep. Harry Cooks is on the bench. Yeah. We know he's been ill, but quite brave team selection, but you could see why he did it.
I think both managers, they're both very good managers, and they've all won things, right? And therefore they know how to win football matches. Both managers have tried to do something different tonight. Jono's left out a few players that maybe Scott expected him to put in. He might have expected Jack Dean to start, might have expected Harry Cooksey to start. On this pitch, he might have even expected Gray Evans to start. You're always shocked when you see someone of Jordan Gallagher's ability on the bench as well. So they're probably the shocks to Scott. But for Jono, I think it's really clear, and I have to give credit to Scott, there was definitely confusion in the Farnham ranks for the first 10-15 minutes about how much space Flaherty was getting when he was dropping deep. And that is a new thing. Jono would have expected Sam Flaherty to be very much akin to Brad Wilson and hug the far touchline. But instead, he's kind of played centre midfield. He's picked up the ball, and he's caused problems for the 10s, whether or not to track him, when to pass him off to Purcell and to Waters. And that took a bit of time figuring out, and he caused problems. But I have to say, in the last sort of 15-20 minutes, Flaherty's not really had the ball. He's not been able to get it going, and Farnham have been far more aggressive in getting to him and stopping the passes as well. And if Goff hasn't really got any options in front of him, that's where they're going to tick. And it's also where they've lost the ball. And that's where Farnham scored the goals.
We spoke pre-match briefly about this maybe being the squad now that Paul Johnson's going to be happy with to attack the run. And it is a phenomenal squad. The bench is outrageous tonight. But how hard is it for him to keep everyone happy with those big names on the bench?
I think when you're winning, you can keep people happy. I think when you come here tonight, you leave a few of the big names out. It doesn't go your way. Then you got some knocks on the door and go, well, why don't you start me, Gaffer? I've been doing this. And exactly what you said to start this conversation. Maybe his team selection will go down as the reason we won this game today. We're not only 2-0 up at half-time against what can be only described as Kingstonian's only option. They're a starting 11 team, and they're a very, very good starting 11. But if you look at their bench, it is nowhere near the strength of Farnham's. And it was always with the idea that potentially it would be a tight game, and we'd be able to roll the dice and win it from the bench. Now, we're still going to need to do that and put this game to bed, but the next goal is absolutely pivotal, and Farnham look to have players off the bench that can make that happen.
He's made another big call this week, Paul Johnson, bringing in Zaki Waller. He replaces Hugo Sobte tonight. Any further comments you want to make on that decision?
Yeah, look, like we said pre-match, like Hugo was a great servant to the club, and we've gone through 7 goalkeepers this year. Zaki is our 7th, and we probably won't get the credit we deserve on that. We've had by far and away a revolving door when it comes to the goalkeeper position. We're hoping that stopped now. Obviously we started the season with Pat. We wanted that to be the end of the season. We actually started the season with Martin, then became Pat. Pat was the idea for us for the entire season, and then we had this sort of weird middle ground. We had Pickford come in, we had Connor Clark on this pitch against Range Park, played a game. So it's not been easy. It's not been an easy position. I think Hugo did well. Got amazing technical ability with his feet, which is so important for a team like ours. But it just didn't work out, and that's football. And we wish him the best of luck. And he was a great guy to have around, and an amazing, face for the club. I genuinely thought he was a really, really good guy, and he gave everyone time, and that's what's really important at non-league. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But we're trying to become champions, not only in this league, but we want to go and compete in the league above, and that means you have to make brutal decisions, and not everyone's going to agree with them. Hopefully, they agree with them in hindsight. And I think the most impressive difference I've already noticed today is Waller is very loud. He's organised, and that gives a lot of confidence to the defence in front of them, and that's maybe what they've lacked in the last couple of games, and that's all it is. It's just trying to continue to improve and evolve one piece at a time. We've been very loyal to a very good group of core players, and it's just about supplementing them in the right way and making sure that we do the best we can in order to continue to push on. And I'm happy with the signing, but John has been talking to Zaki. He talked to him last summer, and he's been a long-term target ever since he played against us for Chesham, and he had a brilliant season last season, and then unfortunately broke his leg in one of the opening games of this season. But you can see that it hasn't really affected his kicking. It's huge. That's the thing that I remember so well from the game against Chesham. I couldn't believe how far he got down the pitch, and it won't be doing it justice in the first half because he's kicking uphill. But downhill, he's not going to be a million miles away from the edge of the penalty area. And when you've got players like Owen Dean, with his leap, and then players like Darryl who can pick up second balls, that is really, really dangerous. You can build attacks quickly.
You mentioned they're competing in the league above. This second half
is pivotal to that.
You almost got 1 foot in step 3, haven't you? 9 points. But what's the team talk then to hold on to this lead? Is it suck it up and absorb it, or is it go and win it?
I think there's only one way Jono knows, and that's go and win this game. Put a statement down, demoralise them, make it really hard for Kingstonian to turn up on Saturday and think that they're going to win a game. That's the way that he's going to want to play this. He's going to want to put a statement down 4-5-0. I think the really important message, and I think it's going to come from the likes of Zaki, Ryan, Steps. They're going to want a clean sheet here. They've been brilliant this first half. They've limited Kingstonian to very, very few chances. And they've maybe been rightly a bit aggrieved with some of the forward players in the last few months when they haven't taken their chances. They can't be aggrieved tonight. They've put away 2 brilliant goals from a limited amount of chances, and now it's their job to keep a clean sheet. The boys up front have done their job. Maybe they'll get a few more, but it's about keeping a clean sheet now this tonight.
But it's another signature away performance. It could make it 14 wins on the road for the season. Why is there such a difference in performance level, home versus away?
I don't know. It's weird. It's such a weird thing. But we are just better in blue. So, genuine conversation to have about colour of the shirt next season. But I think there's a huge amount of pressure that comes with playing at home. We obviously get the biggest crowds in the league.
And a big home fixture this Saturday coming as well.
Huge home fixture against Leatherhead. Obviously trying to get revenge for what they did to us at their place. But there's pressure. I think people or teams set up very differently. Without jinxing the second half, the way Kingstonian play is very suited to the way Farnham play. They're open. They allow quick passing around them. Let's be honest, the front four don't work that hard going backwards, and that comes with success. So they put 2 of their chances away, and it's 2-0 down the other end. It's a very, very different game. But this suits Farnham. Southall suited Farnham away, and it's because teams are having to go and try and win at their own home ground, and it's such a good point at Farnham. Like, if you travel to Farnham, you get a point. It's such a good point. So sitting up and just absorbing that pressure, and then trying to grab a goal is the perfect way to do it. So that's what I think it is, but there's no rhyme or reason. We've been unbelievable away, and we've been okay at home.
Kingstonian will obviously want to get back into this, but do you think there'll be an element of they'll be wary that they don't want to get embarrassed here? Like, if they really go all guns blazing for it, they could really get picked off tonight.
To be fair to Scott, I don't think he will think about that. He's an attacking manager. You've got a lot of attacking players on that pitch. I think it will just be interesting to see if Farnham get the next goal, what happens, because you've got a lot of personalities in that Kingstonian team. Will they switch off? But will they have the same thing? Will they want pride to take over and make sure this isn't a drubbing? But also, the game is all there to play for now. The next goal goes to Kingstonian. That momentum swing is going to be huge. And from their Wharton and Hersham days, this squad is very capable of a second half turnaround and late goals. So by no means a done deal. I think Eddie Simon's been really quiet, but it's very hard to keep him quiet for 90 minutes. And I just think it's very hard to keep our front four quiet as well. And when you've got what we've got off the bench, that's where it's going to really cause problems when Kingstonian are having to go and win it. At 1-0, they could kind of bide their time. But at 2-0, they need a goal. They need a goal in the next 10, 15, 20 minutes.
And that's why you expect a really fast start in the second half.
Really fast start, blow everything at it in the next 20 minutes. Not enough is going to be made about the fact they're going to be running uphill. They've done a lot of running, Kingstonian. So have Farnham, but they've done a lot of running. Farnham are down the hill. Shots are going to fire much faster. Clip balls are going to go a tiny bit further. This is a much easier way to go. And that area on the edge of the box is not a nice area to defend. We saw it last night against with Rains Park playing Southall. Nearly all the goals were scored in this end because it's really not an easy area to defend. And huge credit to Steps and to Rye who've done an incredible job to get a clean sheet in that half, because I would not want to be playing on that sandpit.
Feels like that's a real blossoming partnership, Canadian Stepney. It's something Farnham lacked last season, mostly due to injuries.
Yeah.
But that's really blossomed, doesn't it?
I think they've been great. I think Steps had a really slow start. I think he'd be very honest about that. Kind of tried to be a player he wasn't. And also he's been used to being the guy, the centre-back, number one, call the shots. And you're playing playing with a player like Ryan, who is, in the A grade, right? And he's the organiser, he's the captain, and that's difficult to get used to. But once you get used to it, you realise, wow, I'm going to become a way better player here. And also, you can't forget, Steps is not old for a centre-back. He's like 25 years old. He's got a long way to go in the game, and he's got a sweet left foot. And there was a really nice piece of skill where earlier in the season I'd been really worried. Ball comes over the top, it's beaten him, he's tracking back. I think it was him versus Palace Francis or Eddie Simon, I can't remember. And he's taken it on the inside of his foot, turned him, and then picked the pass. That Steps becoming more aware of his surroundings, comfortable with who he's playing with, not having to overplay, not having to lunge into a tackle. And that's the Stepney that we're delighted to see in Farnham Blue. But yeah, it's been a very, very good half. We're going to now jump over the fence. I'm going to stay here so Ben doesn't feel too aggrieved. I can hold that for you. But Kingstonian have all the work to do here in this half. Farnham don't look to have made any changes, nor have Kingstonian. Obviously, they made a late substitution in that half due to injury to Harry Mills. As I now attempt to jump over the fence.
Sorry.
Right, I'm over.
Yeah, I got eliminated from the Royal Rumble, and you've just, bumped into somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I've taken a bump. All right. Huge 45 minutes. Will Farnham's bench that we've talked about so much. In fact, we can actually find out who this guy is on the near side if he turns his shirt around. It's 15. If that helps you. It is Ben Parkinson. I was right. There you go. My pre-match research has paid dividends.
There you go. Can't ask for better coverage than that.
So, I'm trying to figure out what they're doing here. Still 3 at the back, 2 in the middle. Oh no, substitute. Palace France is off.
Yep, and
for
Joe Bell. Yep.
So another centre half, so a striker off for a defender. Okay, going to a back 4. It's a 4-2-4. So McShane will join Eddie Simon. Flaherty's going to play in his more accustomed right wing role. Brad Wilson stays out on the left hand side, and it's a midfield 2 of Ruben Duncan and Arsene Ukaj. Back 4 for Kingstonian, and a massive
real tall
change.
Order for that 2-man midfield.
Yeah, against 4.
Gonna have to be industrious. We need a positive reaction to that disappointing end to the first half, Kingstonian.
Yeah, and likewise, Farnham need a very positive reaction themselves to try and get this game put to bed. As the side that we're watching the game on has been decimated. No one's next to us, which is lovely. I've got more space to show my frustrations or show my joy.
That was a nudge, which was spotted by the referee. Eddie Simon, the offender.
Silly foul, really, given the circumstances. Interesting to see what Farnham do here. Not been overly successful from set pieces this year.
No, normally you'd see Harry Cooksley over this, but it is going to be Daryl Sanders. And it's in with some power. And did that get a touch? No, it didn't.
Close though, wasn't it? Yeah, this is what I'd call a customary Kingstonian lineup. 4-2-4, Flaherty right, Wilson left, Simon and 1. The 5 up front, left them exposed. And it's a rethink for Scott Harris.
Nothing's changed from a Farnham perspective. 4-2-2-2.
I think Farnham will like the fact that it's Palmer versus Flaherty as well. Pace will help. Jackson can just shepherd Wilson. This is good pressing from Farnham.
Yeah, they're not slowing down.
Well, they know they can run hard. They've got players on the bench.
Little was offside. Kingstonian wanted the advantage. Goff, who saw plenty of it in the first half. Parkinson.
Looks like a young lad, Parkinson. Not seen him play before.
Simon allowed to turn, and he looks out wide where there's nobody waiting.
Yeah, I mean, first time I've ever seen Brad Wilson not be there. In fact, he was kind of playing the left wing-back role. Now we're about to see how far Zaki can kick the ball. Quite a fun game.
Yeah, been dying to find out.
I think he's going to go much past where that current Kingstonian line is.
Adam Little on his toes. Pretty much right in line with those defenders. Free kick given away by Purcell.
Big 15 minutes for Farnham Town in the context of the season. And a huge 45.
And they're pressurised again. They get out of it with Duncan. He looks through the middle, and now it's Parkinson. Flaherty. Forced backwards by Palmer. Goff going to float one forward. Missed by Stepney.
Poor from Canane.
Uncharacteristic miscue from the Farnham skipper. Wilson.
Great tackle.
Accompanied by Jackson. And this is where Farnham can be dangerous as Kingstonian commit bodies forward, but Goff does well and just stabs it through.
Farnham needs to get hold of the ball.
Jackson, free kick given.
Done well. Farnham needs to slow it down.
Yeah, they'll be happy to pick up those little free kicks.
It's just such a different score, isn't it? 2-0 to 1-0 in these sort of games. It's a poor kick, first of the day.
Bit quiet in here.
Yeah, the atmosphere's definitely changed. Don't want people thinking that this game is over. It's far from that.
Yeah, Farnham did concede the third goal at Southall on Saturday. They went 2-0 up and allowed the host back into it, only briefly though.
Yeah, the front two are very much Adam Liddell and Daryl Sanders.
Owen Dean asked to do more of the dirty work.
Makes sense. Pressing has been excellent from Farnham.
Launch forward, and that's wayward.
Great signing, lads. Keeper. Quality.
On by Dean. Liddell, there's another free kick to Farnham. Just looking to manage this situation.
Ball in behind.
Owen Dean. Liddell's there.
Oh, it was a well-struck shot. But it wasn't one that went past the first line of defence.
Kingstonian were sleeping there.
Owen Dean with a really nice run. And a great lock back as well.
Would have really rubbed salt in Kingstonian wounds if Adam Liddell had killed the game off. Flaherty. And a very mature performance up to now. And they've not really faced an early onslaught, as we suggested might come. And that ball was, again, wayward. Again, Wilson not as far advanced as Goff perhaps anticipated. Liddell has to hold and does just that. And it's another free kick.
Really good. Liddell started this game really, started this half even, really well. And he was excellent in the first half too. It's been the perfect outlet for Farnham. And he's led the press as well.
Paul Johnson's a big fan of him, isn't he?
Massive fan. One of the first names on the team sheet just because of his willing running. In this league, it's so important. Most of them are onside here. Owen Dean definitely is.
Was. It's Owen Dean. Wondered if he was going to take that.
It's a great kick from Zaki.
Seen a few Owen Dean strikes when the ball sort of sits up like that.
It's so hard when you're bearing down on goal in these pitches. And I think a lot to be said about the goals that we have scored. Both of them have been, they've either sat up for Ben Purcell or it's first time finish from Owen. Like one where you're running on this pitch, so difficult to get it under control. Farnham have been working on their set pieces.
Let's see what this one produces. It's floated in.
It's good.
And it drops very nicely. And they want handball. Referee says no. Disson Croy
Hit
with the
something.
shot.
Hit something hard.
Liddell. And that has been given as a foul by the linesman.
Didn't look like a foul at all. Did not look like a foul at all.
Linesman had a great view of it.
I mean, it's either a corner or a free kick. I mean, Farnham would almost prefer the corner.
Yeah, the assistant referee was certain.
Was.
Don't look best pleased, Kingstonian.
I can understand why. Didn't look like a foul, that one. But regardless, it's a set piece in that corner.
So it's going to be Sanders again. Plenty forward again. Purcell on the edge of the box.
I'd roll it to him.
It's towards Kinane. He goes over. And
What?
the free kick goes against Farnham
Wow.
number 5.
When he blew that whistle, I was expecting him to point to the spot.
And there's some complaints from the Kingstonian players. Not sure.
He's going to get booked for that, I'm sure.
There's a yellow card. Presumably for Disancroy.
Good finish from Sam Disancroy into the bottom corner. But that looked like a true 50-50. It felt like it was no foul or a Farnham foul.
Again, they're making
It's just a
hard work for themselves.
horrible area of the pitch to be playing those sort of passes. Down the other end isn't so bad.
Kept alive well. Dean will
Liddell will chase.
Liddell will chase. Dean kept it in.
Brilliant from Farnham. It's been really, really good start to the second half here from Farnham Town as the linesman nearly topples in front of us. He wouldn't have wanted that on camera.
Liddell. Looking to work some space.
Nice.
And does so for Sanders, and he thought Liddell was going to go for the return ball.
Kept it on.
Owen Dean leading the press now against Gough. Farnham have been in control, really, in this second half. Flaherty drops a bit deeper.
Time for Gio Palmer.
That's a good ball into the feet of Owen Dean. Sanders
Not going to get there. Now Farnham need to drop in.
Okay. Duncan.
Bit of space now for McShane and Wilson.
Swarming all over him. Kai again. Farnham well organised. Parkinson. Not many options ahead of these Kingstonian defenders as Farnham stay tight to their men and pounce.
That's a nice ball though.
Kinane's dragged out. And he's a bit exposed here. Here's McShane. And Kinane goes across. Still McShane.
Done really
Nice
well.
turn.
Done really well.
And that's going to roll all the way through, and it is a corner.
Yeah, a bit messy. Came from a ball round the corner.
In swinger. And
Great
well
take.
claimed by Waller.
Great take. And Farnham are going to need their goalkeeper to do a lot of that in this second half and slow the game down.
And he's
Likewise.
making life awkward for Kingstonian there. Here's Dean. Palmer getting forward. He needs to be quick to get there ahead of Flaherty, and he
Done
is.
really well.
That's a good
Likewise,
nick.
Stepp's going to have to get across here. It's a foot race with Simon.
Simon gets there.
Men flying forward for Kingstonian.
Into the box, Simon across the face.
Flaherty.
And it drops for Flaherty!
Farnham need to get back in control of the ball.
Yeah, it's descended into a bit of chaos again after a controlled opening to the second period. Flaherty on the overlap is Parkinson. His chance to cross. Takes his time and delivers. Away by Jackson. Which Kai
Nice.
breaks down.
Great chance for Flaherty coming onto the ball on the edge of the box. Struck it so well, but Ryan Kinane, as he has been so many times, was there to stop it going goalward. But that was a wake-up call there for Farnham Town.
It is rare that Kingstonian don't score. Farnham will be well aware of that. 3 very potent players on the pitch for the hosts.
Absolutely.
And James McShane, of course, who...
Needs no introduction at non-league levels.
Absolutely.
Play from step 6 to step 1. All with Dorking Wanderers. This is the sort of stuff that Farnham will want, just to take the sting out of the game a bit. But the chance for Kingstonian actually came from a great chance for Gio Palmer to get the ball forward.
Palmer's in plenty of space. Just looking to hold his position, really. And
That's
won
brilliant
back
from
by
Purcell.
Purcell. Wonder if he might be tempted. Liddle
Oh,
And,
he needed to release the ball.
just crowded out. Jackson. Oh, and that's Purcell.
That's nice.
Sanders lets it go out. It's a goal kick, and they can't believe that, Farnham. Goff allowed time on the ball this time.
They will be patient, Kingstonian. But time is ticking away. But they will be patient.
Goff. Flaherty helps it on.
Great from
Stepney's
Stepney.
there. Simon having to drop back towards the halfway line. On by Duncan for Wilson, who's been a bit
Got him.
quieter in the second half, but he looks to come to life now. Wilson, across it goes. Palmed away by Waller and over the bar from Eddie Simon.
There's the danger, though. Brad Wilson, one-on-one with Joe Jackson. Got the better of him with a lovely touch. Made the goalkeeper work.
Well, that's a couple of shots towards goal. One from Flaherty, one from Simon.
Definitely better chances than he created in the first half. Nothing where Waller has had to really stretch himself.
Little challenges. And it drops. Handball's not going to be given there against Stepney.
That's nice. This is a
Flaherty's
foot
going to
race.
give chase. That's the pace of Palmer, though, and the cover of Ryan Kinane. And Waller for Disencroy.
That's nice from Farnham
Purcell.
Town.
Liddle's on the move,
Looking for Owen Dean.
and it's heavy from Ben Purcell. Settle down is the cry from Ryan Kinane.
63, 64 gone.
Farnham half an hour away from what some may look at as an unassailable lead at the top. Still plenty of the season to go, of course, but this is significant, and they can add to that advantage here if they get this right, which they don't.
Where Farnham need to get better in this second half.
Simon.
And there's a chance here.
McShane, it's 4-on-4. It's
McShane's
Wilson
got chance.
against Kinane. Kinane wins that battle, but at the expense of a corner.
Yeah, they've looked far more dangerous on the counter-attack. Farnham need to be aware of it. Wonder if there'll be a change with that in mind, especially with Mark Waters on a yellow as well in there.
Wilson stands over it. Referee has some sorting out to do. Kingston rejects the cry. Could be aimed at a couple of players, but Mark Waters more so than anybody else.
And Little.
Wilson in again. Met by Kinane. Flaherty challenges Disancroy and poked forward by Palmer. At the time that did Disancroy, and here comes Jackson. Here they come. Joe Jackson.
Oof.
He had Purcell with him.
Yeah, couldn't quite find the pass, could he?
Handball the appeal. And not given. Looked like Jackson was just protecting.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it is a handball, no doubt about that, but yeah, it wasn't one of those where he did it deliberately.
Looks like Great Evans is getting ready.
Makes sense. Finally need to hold the ball up better up front. Wouldn't be surprised if we see Daryl Sanders. It's done a lot of running.
Evans a more natural fit up front. Good memories of this place.
Absolutely. And down that end. Ryan Kinane's right. Farnham haven't started playing properly in this half. That's a lovely header, though, from Owen Dean on the far side.
Little challenges. Oh, Sanders onto it. Not quite. Parkinson did enough. Could have gone very differently as Waller takes control. What a touch by Little that is. And he gets away from Duncan. Adam Little looking to drill one in low.
Poor cross. Farnham would have taken the foul.
Well, Waters there with the offence, and he needs to be careful. And so do Farnham here with Wilson.
Great tackle. When will we see Great Evans come on? But not now, despite the linesman's flagging.
Here's Goff.
Another man getting stripped on that far side.
Do just wonder at Mark Waters.
Yeah,
After
definitely.
that foul. Kinane dragged all the way out. Gets back into position. Parkinson. Goff wants it back and gets it back. Not a lot of size for him to aim at in the box. He looks
That's a nice pass
for Parkinson, who does keep it in, and it's a goal kick in the end.
Yep. And that will be a chance for two substitutions, one for Farnham and one for Kingstonian. I'm expecting number 10 to go up for Farnham.
29 is
It's Adam Little.
up. Well, he's worked tirelessly, Adam Little. Booed by the Kingstonian fans, applauded by the Farnham fans.
He'll enjoy that.
And James McShane, unlikely to see the 90, wasn't he? He goes off.
Yeah, I think he's penned in for 70 minutes ago, which is a nice indicator of how long is left in this game. And I honestly don't know who that is coming on.
No, I mean, he's not wearing a number that was put down on the team sheet. So here he is, though. Offside.
No, handball. Again, Farnham will be delighted to just slow that game down. Still 2-0 in the ascendancy. Almost look like Farnham have gone pure 4-3-3 now. Sanders and Croy into the middle. Almost Sanders playing on the left-hand side with Great Evans down the middle and Owen Dean on the right. It's a great kick. And a sensible header. I imagine the next sub might be Jordan Gallagher or Harry Cooksley.
Yeah, I mean, you can move Jackson into midfield, of course, and bring Jack Dean on. Bit of handbags. Farnham don't want this to spill over.
No, don't need to. Just need to be disciplined.
So Sanders remains up top.
Yeah, I think they're going to run him to the ground, and then I think we'll see Jordan Gallagher.
Palmer committed himself. Kingstonian are going to flood the penalty area as Stan Flaherty
Makes sense.
gets set to deliver. Floated. Kane gets the first contact. Disancroy will get the second.
Good header.
And here's Sanders with the cushion to Purcell, who just, in fact, it's Dean who just
That's a nice
launches
touch.
one. Clock is working in Farnham's favour, as is the scoreline. And it's a pretty picture being painted for the visitors.
That's a nice ball.
Canane with a touch, and he's going to get on the end of that touch and hit that down the line.
That's a nice header.
Keeper calls for it. And that's the know-how of Zaki Waller.
Keeping an eye on the Farnham bench. See who will be next. Looks like there's one player stripped. I can't make him out from here. Owen Dean with a brilliant touch.
On to Evans. His touch
That's
gets
not,
away
that's
from it.
not good.
Not quite up to the pace of the game. They want offside. Don't get it. And Waller with the head to Waters. He's looked very assured, Zaki Waller, in all departments.
That's lovely, Farnham Town.
Sanders.
Brilliant.
Waters, what a move. Disancroy to the left. Palmer's up with him. It's Gio Palmer. And he loses his footing, but it's a corner. What a move that was. First
Really
time
was.
Every pass was played first time of asking.
Very, very good. For Mark Waters in particular, who I think has been fantastic out there.
Joined Farnham 12 months ago from Kingstonian. As the linesman reveals there's 18 minutes to go. Purcell's on the edge again.
Important delivery.
They don't like how long Sanders is taking over this. Purcell goes short. But it's in to the 6-yard box, and it's in! Great Evans at the same end where he scored against Rains Park Vale secures all 3 points for Farnham Town.
And off comes the shirt, as he promised me earlier. Kinane's header was the first. It was parried or it was saved on the line by some Kingstonian player.
And there was Great Evans, causing chaos in the 6-yard box. Farnham 3, Kingstonian 0, and just after Kingstonian had a decent amount of possession as well, Farnham just killed the game off. And looks like it's Harry Cooksley who's going to be coming on to enjoy the last 20 minutes here.
Evans won't care about the yellow card. 7 goals for the season from him, and the Lions' share of them off the bench. In big moments, a lot of them.
Moments player as Sam Disancroy makes way.
Another in-season signing, Great Evans, and an impactful one. And what a luxury this is, being able to bring on Harry Cooksley.
Yeah, it's an embarrassment of riches, really. I mean, Paul Johnson has had a fantastic squad for a long, long time, but he's been really unlucky with injuries and suspensions and all sorts of other things that have meant that he's never really had the situation he's had tonight, which is a genuine selection headache. And, you know, he says that managers should enjoy selection headaches. Well, he's saying that headaches aren't good, and he's got a lot of decisions to make. But when you're bringing on players of Harry Cooksey's quality and experience, you're not too bad, are you? Instantly organising Harry Cooksey. And Kingstonian could not have afforded to concede that goal.
No, that's killed it off.
It's 4-4-2 now at Farnham Town. It's old school. Evans and Sanders. Looks like Ben Purcell will play on the left-hand side of the four in midfield. And this is where he'll be used.
Water's demanding that the standards
great
don't
touch.
slip. What a touch that is. Can they find a route back into it? It's another corner.
Canane there again. But Wilson has been the outlet for Kingstonian all evening. He hasn't really been able to do much when he's got past Jackson. Canane's been there, but he has been the outlet. A goal for Kingstonian here would make it interesting.
Be an instant response. Corner's not great though.
Away it goes, Harry
He looks
Cooksey.
at the flag in anguish. But what a statement this is from Farnham Town on the big night.
Clean sheets everything now. There's a lot to be said about the goal difference swing as well on this. You know, we were expecting a tight game.
Yeah, well, Farnham are well clear in that department.
They still need to do the dirty work.
And it's missed Canane, and it's, well, he got the slightest of touches on it, almost went into his own net.
Yeah, he did, and he did what he needed to do, but if it was goal bound, it was going in the bottom corner. Another in swing up. This time it's Stan Flaherty out on this side.
Will he have more joy from the corner flag? It's up high.
Great header.
And it's dropped to a Farnham body. Here's Evans.
Farnham are flooding forward.
And it's 3-on-1.
Wrong way.
It's Daryl Sanders.
Palmer's the other way.
Purcell!
What a chance. What a chance. And here come Kingstonian down the other end. It's basketball, it's NBA here at Grand Drive.
There's no way through for Kingstonian. Dan Rowe.
Dan Rowe's come on, former Basingstoke man. That's poor clearance.
Only as far as Ujai. That's
a nice
pass,
touch.
but one back by Duncan. They're just struggling to keep
Farnham
on
need
with
to
it.
come forward again.
They'll be hungry for more goals, especially great Evans. Towards Sanders.
Ooh.
Purcell, told to keep it.
Sensible. Farnham have the clock on their side, not just the score. That's nice first time out wide, and it will be a Farnham throw.
Another change. And again, it's, you know,
That's Sanders.
it's Sanders coming off and Jordan Gallagher coming on. I mean, none of these Farnham changes are making them any weaker, are they?
Jordan Gallagher, second top goal scorer in the league, only limited to 13 minutes tonight on his return to Grand Drive. Will he get a memorable goal to top this performance off?
He usually does.
Especially here. His first appearance back at Grand Drive since leaving Rains Park in November. He will want a goal, more than most.
Jackson. Ryan Canane. Both imperious tonight, Kinane and Stepney.
They have been. As is this man.
Excellent debut for Waller.
Done everything right, hasn't he? That's a great header from Owen Dean.
Here's Evans. Free kick given, referee decided
sensible.
there was no advantage.
About 10 to go of normal time. Farnham 3-0 up. 2 goals in the first half. The second of which you will have to watch again. It was quite some goal from Ben Purcell from about 25 yards out into the top corner. But Great Evans one from 1 yard will be just as important for Farnham Town.
He certainly celebrate it just as vigorously, if not more. Yeah, no, straight for the cameraman. He knows where the camera is, Great Evans.
Does indeed. Does indeed.
Knows where the back of the net is as well, more importantly. Not quite fit enough to start at the moment, but these cameos in the last few days have been impressive.
True 4-3-3 from Farnham now. Gallagher left. Evans through the middle. Dean right. Midfield 3. Ben Purcell, Mark Waters, Harry Cooksey. We're talking about some of the best players at the level nationwide, and that's why Farnham Town are top of the league currently by 9 points.
Rich Kite. To drive through the bodies. Flaherty. His impact has started to wane. Not really worked as much for him on the right-hand side, as it? He was a bit more impactful through the middle in the first half, although the game was, of course, in a different state at the time.
That's a nice touch.
Almost made it awkward for Stepney, and in the end, Simon, who's had very little to go at, just blasts one over.
That has summed up Simon's night.
Another change. Looks like Jack Dean over there.
And we say it for every substitute, but this is proving the strength in depth that Farnham have. In the last 5 minutes, they brought on Harry Cooksey, Jack Dean, Jordan Gallagher and Great Evans.
4 men who would start for every other team in the league.
Joe Jackson making way. He's been excellent. And now it's a new challenge for Brad Wilson out on that left-hand side. It's Jack Dean.
Yeah, we've not seen much of Jack Dean, largely down to the postponements. He's been suspended since Boxing Day. Played in that defeat by Dorking in the Surrey Cup.
And then before that, he had a broken foot. So, you know, it's been few and far between appearances, really, for Jack Dean this season. Not a dissimilar story to his season last season.
Yeah, he came up big towards the end of the campaign.
Very capable.
Scored, of course, in that 7-0, the game that made Farnham invincibles. And I believe, did he win goal of the season for that strike against Spelthorne?
He did.
There you go. Could be Ben Purcell's prize come the spring.
It very much could be. It would take some goal to beat it.
Gallagher against Rayners Lane, perhaps a contender.
Definitely. Again, context helps.
Yep.
With 6 or 7 minutes left of this game, I don't want to say it's fizzling out, but it feels like it is.
Purcell still going. Palmer likewise. Good game from him tonight. Farnham are just emptying the bench.
Yeah, there will be one more. Kaitana this time. Energy.
Something that's been zapped out of this ground by this Farnham performance. You always hesitate to say it, but performance of champions is what it seems like.
Still work to do.
Not done yet. Jack Dean with his first involvement. And we see who the final man withdrawn is going to be. It's going to be Mark Waters.
Makes a lot of sense. And I have to say, the team selection from Paul Johnson today and his substitutions have been on point. It's been a masterclass on that side of the pitch.
Yeah, battles have just been won all over, haven't they?
Absolutely.
So Kai Tanner
straight into the action. Straight into the action.
Didn't quite have the distance on that goal kick. Of course, Tanner had a unpleasant experience last time I was here. I think Jordan Gallagher was quite mean to him, wasn't he?
I think he was. All friends now. All friends now. I just feel like Farnham might have one more attack in them.
It would bookend the game very nicely, 2 goals in each half, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. It's the clean sheet, though, that will matter far, far more to this Farnham Town defence, who have deserved it. They have been superb.
Drops to Kingstonian, who still huffing and puffing.
That's a nice touch.
Evans commits the foul.
It's a sensible foul. It's a sensible foul from a man without a yellow card. And he knows it as well. Slow that game down.
That's heavy. That's the ability of Flaherty on display right there.
He's been their brightest spark, him and Wilson.
Unsurprisingly.
Simon having a quiet night, but here comes Farnham.
That's well weighted from Cooksley for Gallagher.
This is where Gallagher prays.
One-on-one with Goff. And he goes over, and he's holding his face.
I'm not sure how that wasn't a foul.
Purcell straight into another challenge. He'll be on the short list for man of the match, won't he, Ben Purcell? Long short list, that is. That's offside.
I cannot believe he didn't give that foul.
So, closing moments. Farnham are going 9 points clear, and attention turns to Saturday.
Yeah, 2 big games to follow this one up. Leatherhead at home, Hayes and Yedding at home. 2 big games, 6 points there, and you think Farnham are nearly home. This is their 67th point of the season, and Kingstonian are languishing on 58.
Yep, they'll know they still have a great chance of going up, having come down last season.
That's a nice
nicely
pass.
Worked. Here's Rowe. And as has so often been the case tonight, Canane goes and deals with the situation.
He's been fantastic, Ryan Canane. It really has. Been my man of the match.
Nearly capped it off with a goal. I wondered if it was over the line, but
it's close, wasn't it? Like, Great Evans did so well to pounce on it.
Yeah, striker's instincts from the ex-Bracknell forward.
That's a nice pass. That's not. Farnham need to continue to work hard, though. This is the clean sheet.
Simon can pick it up. Parkinson, Flaherty. Simon. It's going to come in from Parkinson. Simon! Gallagher. Evans ahead of him. Here's Evans.
Done well.
Still Evans, and he's strongly challenged, but fairly. Here come Kingstonian, not long to go.
Yeah, about 2 of normal.
Palmer's in there.
About 2 left, Kai. 2.
Kingstonian wants something to send their fans home happy about. They won't be happy with the result, but they won't want to be shut out here. Flaherty heads it on. Had to generate all the power himself. And Zaki Waller is closing in on that debut clean sheet.
One that he would have been desperate for. Marking his territory.
He's not had to make too many saves to keep it at 3-0. Cooksley.
That's good.
Tanner. Cooksley again. That's clever.
Oh, he couldn't quite get it, but that's great, Evans.
Here's Evans. Now he's looking for the corner, and now back
That's
to Palmer.
very sensible. Ben Purcell's the man over as well.
Jack Dean bombing on. Dean. And that is a corner.
Very good from Farnham. Worked it from one corner to another.
And I doubt they'll be sending many forward.
Linesman says 44 have been played. 1 to go of normal time. Farnham have done a job here. A fantastic job.
Probably the best job they've done all season.
That's brilliant.
Evans. Tanner! And it's in. It's 4-0. What a way to cap off a dream night for Farnham Town.
It took an age to go in, but it's another one in off the post. And Kingstonian are stunned. They are stunned. Farnham Town have rocked up here to Grand Drive, and they've got all 3 points, scored 4 goals, and they've been impeccable. Absolutely impeccable. And Kai Tanner will be delighted with that one, despite it not being his finest strike.
No, it wasn't a clean finish.
Wasn't Ben Purcell-esque. But they all count. They all count.
And what strength from Evans in the first place.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant. And it was such a good pick out.
You can already see his tweet that he's going to put out with the
He
G's
is
and the
ready.
A's.
He is ready.
Strike, Kai's up!
He texted me this morning saying he's going to score. He said he was going to score an important goal. I'm not sure I'll put that one down as an important goal, but a goal nonetheless.
As the terraces begin to empty.
And I don't blame them. Farnham fans, though, will stay here all night.
Yeah, drink the place dry. Wilson's still going. Jack Dean gets the better of him, and cheers and applause.
It's been a lesson in defending. From those Farnham defenders, it really has. They've been fantastic. And that sums Kingstonian's night up.
Yeah, this will hurt. This will hurt Kingstonian.
And it's an 8-goal swing on goal difference as well, which was already in Farnham's favour by quite some way, but tonight basically wraps that one up. And that is an extra point that could come in handy.
Yeah, they need a 10-point swing now. Kingstonian, in reality. That's going to be very difficult. Farnham pretty much at full health. And what a squad it is. And we've seen the impact of those substitutes this evening. 2 combining for that 4th. Aaron Dean. Jack Dean.
Oh, that was a nasty one. That was a nasty one.
They're enjoying themselves, the Farnham fans.
Not sure how he's not going to get a book in it.
He runs away wisely.
Yeah. Is he not going to get a booking?
It was mistimed by a couple of seconds.
I think you're being kind. But he doesn't want to dampen his evening by giving him any more than just the Farnham free kick. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. If you have enjoyed it, we do stream all of the midweek fixtures for Farnham, and there are plenty left in this season. About 14 or 15 games left in the league, quite a few Tuesday nights, so do join us for them and subscribe, and you will get notifications when we do go live for those games. But thank you very much for joining us. Farnham have been phenomenal tonight and put themselves 9 points clear at the top of the table with an imperious away performance.
They're closing in on that clean sheet. Kaitana beat into that one. Flaherty. Palmer gets a whack in the face from Flaherty. Canane heads it down.
That's poor from Stepney. Lack of concentration, maybe.
And Wilson's touch is heavy. And there's a stunned silence in here. What an evening for everyone in blue, really. They've all acquitted themselves well. They've all looked like champions.
Yeah.
Just love to see them reproduce this at home now in these next couple of games.
Yeah, we've been dangerous from the front, like a lobster. Claws at the front.
Simon can't control that with his head.
That's a poor pass from Ben Purcell.
And onto it is Flaherty. And he got nudged by Palmer, but the referee isn't interested. Receives a slap hand there by Kaitana.
Palmer got the ball.
Flaherty furious, I think probably a bit embarrassed.
And he has every right to be, because Farnham have trodden into his world and made a mockery of him.
Well, it couldn't have gone any better for Farnham Town. They extend their lead at the top to 9 points with 4 goals, 2 in each half. Ben Purcell's the pick of the bunch. Final score, Kingstonian 0, Farnham Town 4.
Thank you so much for joining us. Please do subscribe. We're going to head straight off, get into the bar, because what a performance. We won't be leaving here for quite some time. Thank you for joining us. We will see you for our next live stream.